collapsed tunnel for over 17 days. None of the 41 men are said to be injured in any serious manner. All of them are said to be in good health, and they'll now be extracted one by one using a 90-centimeter diameter pipe that has been inserted through the rubble of the collapsed tunnel. This is how the process will now be carried out. What has happened at this moment as we speak, as the rescue workers that you're looking at on your screens, they have managed to bore through and have broken through to the other side of the cavity where the 41 workers, the tunnel workers, are trapped. A 90-centimeter diameter pipe. This is the lifeline that is now going to be used, and this has been inserted through the rubble of the collapsed tunnel, and these individual workers will be extracted one by one through this 90-centimeter diameter pipe that's now been inserted through the rubble. Now remember, the rescue workers had to cut through a lot of metal rods. They were repeatedly impeded in their rescue efforts due to the loose soil and the hard rock, and also sometimes the metal debris that they were drilling through. On occasions, the drilling machine had also faltered, which had created a huge amount of complications in terms of how this rescue work had to be done. This was an extremely delicate task which had to be carried out because of the complications that were arising because of the boring work that was being carried out. At this moment as we speak, there are ambulances that are being stationed. There are health teams who are there at this moment. As soon as the workers are pulled out, we'll of course get to know what their condition is. All right, at this moment, I'm told we are being joined by Major General V.K. Datta, who's joining us on this broadcast. Sir, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us here on WION. Now, this is a big breakthrough that has come through. This has happened just in the last few minutes, where the rescuers say that they've managed to break through to the cavity where the 41 workers are said to be trapped inside of this collapsed tunnel. Tell us as to how delicate this particular operation has been and how difficult, because it's still not done. The workers need to be pulled out effectively using a 90-centimeter diameter pipe.
Yeah, Jerry, absolutely. You're on the dot. This has been something what the entire nation has been waiting for the past so many days. And in spite of various hurdles which we encountered while carrying out tunneling, whether using the auger machine or the vertical drilling or the horizontal drilling, and ultimately after the auger head was removed by plasma cutters, the manual rat technique which has worked very fast, and they've been able to now clear and get through to the other end. Now the clearing of the pipe which was inserted will be carried out so that all the debris is removed, and after that has been done, a bit of shoring would be done, and thereafter all these workers will have to be taken out on a wheeled stretcher type of equipment in which they'll be made to lie down and they'll be pulled out. And that will start maybe as soon as this entire channel is cleared, and hopefully I think by the evening most of the people will start coming out, and they'll be taken for a medical health checkup. But you can imagine the amount of work which has gone in, the national effort, the international effort, all the agencies working together, whether it is the NHACL or it is the DRDO or it is the Border Roads, the Army, the NDRF, the State Disaster Management Authority, the National Disaster Management Authority. All the agencies have worked together, and this is one example of unity at international level, at the national level. And I hope and pray that nothing more happens and all these boys are pulled out in a safe condition.
Absolutely,
over to you.
Indeed. And also, General Datta, this is still not done, because what has been done is that the rescuers have managed to break through to the cavity where these workers are trapped. It is being reported that all workers are in reasonably good health, although they've been trapped inside for 17 long days. Are we to now say that the rescue work pretty much is done and dusted, because we've been very close for the last so many days? Are there any further complications that could still arise? Because they've managed to break through. It's a 90-centimeter diameter pipe via which these workers have to be brought out.
Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing is that, as I mentioned earlier last time when I was on your channel, that this is a seismic zone. And the weather is also packing up. There's a likelihood of rain and snow. But let's hope that nothing more happens. And the tubing which has been done doesn't get crushed by the pressure of the debris which is on top. And these boys are pulled out before that. So till the time everybody comes out, let's keep our fingers crossed. And, there's always the Almighty on top. The effort is on. And I'm very sure that all these boys will be taken out safe and sound. Health-wise, they didn't have any major complications. Of course, the claustrophobia and things like that. But then they were well fed. They were looked after mentally, psychologically. They were able to speak to their families and all. So I think they'll be in fine feather in the next 12 hours after they come out. Nothing to worry.
Absolutely. One does hope, and the prayers of crores of Indians who, of course, are watching this moment with bated breath. One, of course, hopes that everything goes according to plan and there are no further complications. But also, General Datta, if I can, ask you to share your insights on this technique that has been described as rat hole mining. And this has been used in clearing the last few meters of the debris. This is something that had been banned, but this is what has now been employed to manage this breakthrough. Tell us a bit more about this rat hole mining technique and why is it banned and how is it that it is proven to be effective this time round?
See, the thing is that, before the technology came about, way back in the earlier times, whether it was illegal mining by people in Jharkhand or the areas like Arunachal and Meghalaya, where private players go dig into the mines and dig out coal and stuff like that. So this technique has been in use for so many years in India and maybe abroad also. And even if you talk about what the Hamas has done in Palestine, in Gaza, it is a similar technique of the rat hole digging, They use a small hand auger, they keep taking out the mud, keep excavating and, getting through at the same time. So that is a technique which has been in use. It is, of course, labor intensive. It takes time to remove the debris, which has to be done manually and taken out from the area which is very restricted. But this is our old technique, has been in use. Even today, people are using it in certain situations.
Right. I think that's an important one. General, do continue to stay on with us. I'm told we have our reporter Idris Lone, who's also joining us on the phone line on the broadcast. Idris, this is a big moment, the very first breakthrough that we've been waiting for, that we've been praying for. This has been achieved, although we should make it clear to our viewers, the trapped workers have not been brought out yet. The pipe has managed to break through to the debris into the cavity where the workers are trapped. Tell us more as to what is happening on the ground there.
Well, absolutely, Saleh. It is finally good news coming from the rescue site. Although none of the workers have been rescued or brought out yet, but the rescue teams have finally reached the spot where all these 41 workers are trapped. The whole of India has been praying for their safety, as well as their families have been concerned. And finally, after 17 days, government has managed to succeed in the operation. However, not taking out any of the workers yet, but the rescue operation at the moment working very positively, and it seems within few hours the workers would be brought out one by one. We've been told that all the 41 workers who are there trapped are safe, and we directly shifted to the hospital in all the ambulances that have been kept waiting outside the tunnel area. We've seen a lot of ambulances have been brought in, and all these workers will be sent out for a medical checkup first. And it was yesterday that the rescue team decided to go for the rat hole mining, as it was over 2 weeks that these workers were trapped, and at least 6 rat hole miner workers were brought in from Delhi and Jhansi to enter the tunnel and dig manually. And finally, we've been told that they have succeeded, and within a couple of hours, one by one, all the 41 workers will be brought out.
Absolutely, Idris. One does hope and pray that no further complications, of course, happen in this rescue effort, which is presently underway, because None of the workers has yet been brought out. Do continue to stay on with this. If I can go back to General Datta. General Datta, for the last week and more than that, we've been using some of the most high-tech equipments in terms of the drilling machines in trying to get through, just through those last few meters. But that did not yield effort. But this method of rat hole mining, which is labor-intensive, which also is sometimes dangerous, it is this that has, yielded the result so far. This is a clear case of human endeavor trumping technology. Is that how you would see it? We seem to have lost the line with General Datta there. We'll try reconnect with him. He's, of course, been a consultant with the Disaster Management Agency in the past. This, remember, has been an extremely critical operation. The nation been watching with bated breath. Every time there was reports, there was information that we are virtually there. The last meter, that's how much more, just a few hours. And we had been waiting for this information. Now, these are live images that are coming in from near the place where the rescue efforts are presently underway. And I'm told that we've got Major Datta with us, who's joining us on this broadcast. General Datta, the question that I was asking you was, for the last more than a week, the rescue agencies had been employing some of the most high-tech equipment, drilling machines, to try and reach through, to get this breakthrough, but that did not succeed. But it is this very simple practice of rat hole mining which seems to have yielded result. And this shows that, it is human endeavor that seems to have trumped over technology. Is that how you'd read this?
Yeah, you're right. See, the thing is that you cannot wish away technology. While we had the technology, it would have speeded up the entire operation in a very fast manner. But what happened to the auger machine was not anticipated. Because of the steel structure which had come down, the wire meshing which got entangled, the entire process got almost, I'll say, sabotaged in a way by nature. And therefore the technology had to be pulled out, and what is called the final manual effort had to be put in. But then you cannot wish away technology, and you always have the traditional techniques as a fallback for anyone to do that. So that is what has come in handy here. There's something like the Murphy's Law, If you say that something is going to go wrong, and it goes wrong. So maybe all that factor has taken place here, and the things which were not anticipated have happened.
Right.
So that is what I personally feel. So technology has to be used, and when you find a problem, you have to get back to the traditional ways and techniques of handling situations.
Absolutely, indeed. And also, General Datta, a lot of people have been watching with bated breath what's been unfolding. Be interested in knowing as to how the rescue workers managed to get, some food, water, and perhaps, something as basic and as necessary as oxygen. How does that work in a situation like this, where the workers are trapped underneath the rubble, which is several meters deep? How is it that these essential supplies of life were made available for the workers?
See, you are aware that once this main tunnel blockage took place, luckily we had a smaller pipe which was already existing. The electricity was already functional, and those wires are not snapped. And therefore, through that small pipe initially, things like, dry fruits and all were pushed in the initial stages, so that the boys who were trapped in would get a sustenance. So thereafter, when that 8-inch pipe was put through, and that is what which has been putting through the communication, cooked food and water and whatever essential was required thereafter. So it has been a combination of, I'll say, the life-saving pipes, the smaller one and the bigger one, which was pushed in subsequently, which ensured that the trapped workers are fed and their morale is kept high. The communication equipment is pushed through so that they can speak to people outside. So that is what has helped in a big way. And let's say, or let's assume that if there was no way for pushing in food or water then I personally feel it would have been a very, very critical situation for somebody to survive for 14 odd days without food and water. That becomes a critical situation.
I think that's
but
absolutely
that has
true.
been a saving grace.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.